Hello and welcome. This is a short video essay, so no big intro. Suffice it to say, my name is Lewis Nichols, and today I want to let you know what I think about hippogriffs. First, as it pertains to the historic lore, then a word on current influences, then finishing it out with a little discussion about how they fit into the world of Pelakar. If you want to know more about that as a wider subject, check out just about any video on this channel. Hippogriffs are generally considered to be about the size of a pony, with the front end of an eagle and the back end of a horse. Their wings are usually pictured as far less than adequate to support real flight, yet they are histo-mythologically really great in the air. I used to think these guys dated back to the ancient Greeks. They were supposedly mentioned by Virgil and associated with Apollo. With a few hours of fresh internet research behind me, I'm not so sure that's true. It appears to me there was early overlap and later mistranslations and misunderstandings with the griffin, and what happened if a griffin and a mare made sweet love. What we do know is this Italian dude, Ludovico Ariosto, wrote about them in his poem Orlando Furioso back in 1516. Let me tell you, my man Ludovico, he needs some credit. This guy was writing about knights on flying horses, sea monsters, and other kick-ass fantasy fanfare 400 years before Tolkien. Since Ludovico, the hippogriff has been part of the public conscious. There was even a saying for a while, they mix like hippogriffs and horses, meaning they don't get along, because apparently hippogriffs eat horses, not fish. Before we move on, let's clear up a couple things the internet thinks you might be confused about. A lot of people are asking Google to tell them if hippogriffs are real. Sorry, but Google's right. It's pure fantasy. Second, do they lay eggs? Creators working with these guys have changed their minds over time. Back in the day, yeah, they were definitely birds in the reproductive faculty. However, the modern take is live birth. In other words, do what you want. But that beak's got a smart on the way out. Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, and Harry Potter are all very close on these guys. They are just above animal intelligence. They're on the low end of the power rankings, about the 3rd to 5th level range, and they are easily trained as hero mounts. To me, these guys are a perfect place for writers or game designers. There's no copyright issues. Most people know what you mean, so you don't have to spend a lot of time establishing them. My only concern with having them in a setting is the introduction of a fast travel option. It might mean that mountains, swamps, forests, rivers, all meant to restrict movement, are now pointless. There are ways to get around it. Maybe the local dragon enforces a no-fly zone. Maybe the tax on owning a flying mount is just too high for your character to afford. I like this second one because it gives you the option to introduce the creature, the characters to have a little fun with it, and then have a nice payday for selling it, maybe make a friend because of who they sell it to. But at the end of the day, you haven't buggered your campaign. Moving right along, where do these guys fit into Dresden's Tale and Pelakar as a whole? They do exist and are somewhat common on the Keld home plain of Moldav. The Southern Church of Omedon, the god of high places, has taken on the task of producing a force of aerial cavalry. They will make an appearance in Season 3, but are primarily something happening in the background. In Pelakar, they are natural creatures, but on a fantasy world, that's not exactly the same thing as on Earth. They are Zuwala, the same as deer, earthworms, birds, humans, trees, etc. Not to overuse the word natural, but that's really the best term for it. Still, somewhere in the past, they were created. Some god of horses, eagle's flight, or whatever, decided that they should exist, and so they do. This is how pretty much all living things come to be on Pelakar. For hippogriffs, this happened many tens of thousands of years ago. They are an ingrained part of many ecosystems around the Central Plain, and many others. Evolution on Pelakar is a thing, so those groups who were isolated for a while appear different. That also means successful breeding programs can create exceptionally capable warbirds. My hippogriffs give live birth, and I don't sweat the details in regard to wingspans. They are omnivores, meaning they would probably eat a horse, but I don't make them mortal enemies. Pellicar is a big planet, and when you include all the planes in existence, there is a time and place for pretty much anything. I like the idea of bestial hippogriffs, just as I can see a few rewarded for bravery to gain a place among the gods' celestial hierarchy. There would almost certainly be a demon form. Let's face it, a flying creature with a big beak, razor-sharp talons, and the speed of flight. It's fertile ground for all of our imaginations. But that's it for now. Time to do the stuff. Hit that like button, subscribe. Tell me about your hippogriffs in the comments. But most of all, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Cheers.